Hiya Mum and Dad, it's me. I'm at East Pines Park and it's Merry Christmas to you, and I wanted to give you a tour of the park and make our own YouTube video. So here we are at the entrance from Luton Road, and you can see all the plants, mainly forget-me-nots in this section. I think our plan is to try and put some plants in that like shade over time, but we've struggled here because not a lot grows and a lot of people trample over things, so forget-me-nots work, and also lupins, which are those plants over there. I'll walk along here. It's a bit boggy, so I have to be careful, and again we've got a lot of forget-me-nots here. We've got those red hot pokers at the back, and we have a lot of other plants here as well. This is quite a good section for plants, and these really tall ones. And then we've got a real mixture of very tall poppies down here. You can see these will all eventually become very tall and big red poppies, and they're coming through. And then at the back we got some plants, and again they're really good for a bit of winter colour. And again, moving across to another display of plants that we've got, and they're looking really good, looking very strong for this time of year, and should be providing lots of colour and variety. Now this section's a bit mad because we've got loads of plants here, the really tall ones, and they sort of dominate in the summer. These will all be purple colours, and then a mixture of marigolds at the bases and small reddish colour ones, some sedum plants there. And into the spring we'll have to tidy this up. The East Pines Flower Garden side's looking a bit sorry for itself, but we weeded all of this garden about two weeks ago, so it's all fairly tidy of weeds, although it looks a bit scruffy at the moment. Now here is a massive section just full of marigolds. There are quite a few dianthus in here, but our plan is to take all of these marigolds out, all along from here, across, all the way up to here, and cross-plant them into the Neville Avenue side of the park. And the beauty of that will be we'll have colour over there, and then what we grow in the polytunnel we're going to grow in this section in big streaks of colour, be those yellows or reds. We're not quite sure which we'll do yet. Now we've got the remains of Michelle's little garden here, her heather garden, and this will need a bit of work. Again, a lot of forget-me-nots are growing through and so on, and the heathers have never really taken. Behind that we've got Michelle's rose garden, again infiltrated by a few marigolds, but then we'll tidy all that and clear that out. But there are a lot of roses now in there, as you can see at the back, and it'll all look very different come the spring. And we come into the second part of the fencing work, where we put the new railings. We cleared all this out, and again it's sort of not really found its way at the moment. We've got a lot of different plants and so on, the difference there is what we'll do is have a sort of real different design for this space, I think, to have more impact. So that's our plan, and it should be one of our best areas, this. But the two palm trees are doing really well. We planted them 4 years ago, and they're looking really established. Somebody donated them. And then you come up to Wise Owl, and Wise Owl is our secret weapon, our first project, which was the owl that we had carved from tree number 16. And again, that's looking really good, and but it's aged very well. We paint that every year with this Dutch oil, but you can see again there's big gaps of planting and so on that we need to do. A lot's died back, so we'll get these tidied up. We've put a lot of different plants in here. These are donated by Lidl's. These were the dianthus, so again this should all take over again in the spring. And then we've got quite a lot of sort of winter bushes here, hebes and so on, but we'll try and have more colours come the spring. That's our plan for this section. And we should also have some Rebecca somewhere in here that we've been planting. They seem to have died back quite a bit. Yeah, they were all here, but they seem to have died back now, which is a shame. They were looking lovely not that long ago. And we've got here some more dianthus. We've got a sign here, and we're going to have more of these signs. This wooden sign, and the idea is we'll have like information boards and so on, tell people exactly what we've been up to and so on. So I'm going to walk back because it's quite a windy day, so I'm going to walk backwards so you can still hear me. Oh, well, you can see as well, I'll just walk across, you've got lavenders. We've got planted loads and loads of lavenders down the sides. Now quite a lot have survived, which is good, but we're just obviously work in progress, so I wanted to try and make it as bee friendly as we possibly could, and so I'll just carry on walking, and so yeah, we've got more bushes and shrubs here, but again in time we'll have a lot of Rudbeckias and other colours. You can see the Rudbeckias here that we planted, so they're going to look very good in the summer. Lots of yellows and bright colours in this garden, but it's not doing too bad considering it's December. Now this section, don't know if you remember, this is where we planted those marigolds and daffodil bulbs, must be 6-7 years ago, and they're looking great, and well they always do in the summer anyway. These here came from the garden in Congleton, and these are the yellows and reds. I can't remember what they're called now. They're orangey colours they are, but looking a bit battered now, but they've done well throughout the year. There's three clumps that we've planted, and then you sort of come to the end of this sort of garden section, and again it's done really well actually. It takes a lot of wear, a lot of work, and it's really opened the park up, and but we've got these like little holly bushes there, so that looks great. But we do want to do some more work with this corner, have less bushes and more planting and so on. This was full of plants in the summer, but it's all died back now. And then we come to our latest garden, which is this one, and again last time you were here this was all bushes, but now it's full of we've planted a lot of some lavenders and a lot of the blue perennial geraniums in here, purpley coloured geraniums. It doesn't look much at the moment, but they will come back, and yeah, they will be a great feature. So the idea is that these will be purple and whites in this garden, and but this section's looking a lot better, but yeah, it should be a really good feature again, and it's really opened the park out now onto East Pines Drive, so that's a really good piece of work that makes it feel safer. And then our big project for 2020, I'll just try and come away from this wind, just bear with me, just walk over here away from the wind, is the playground. So we're going to put in this section a slide, and the slide will be same sort of colour scheme as the work we've done with the boat and the slides already, the swings, and again it'll make it look inviting. Then we'll have the new tarmac surface going, and then we're going to paint these railings here blue tops, orange legs, again really make it a great feature for the park. And then we come over to this garden, and you'll recognise this one. This was a very popular spot for us. We did a lot of work, still doing a lot of work on it, but we've tidied it out, roughly keep on top of it, and you can see small palm trees that were donated are growing really well, and you may recognise this boat here, the old green boat. And we may need to repaint it again because the blue's coming through on the other side, but it's lasted so well. And obviously the pussycat and the owl and the pussycat, it's all come together, and loads and loads of marigolds, and we're putting a lot of marigolds into this garden because again they survive really well and they're tough plants. So that's our vision for this garden, which is the learning garden. And we had a lot of different plants in here in the spring, some more lavenders and so on. So yeah, really pleased with how this garden's looking. Over there is the football pitch. Again, massive amount of work in terms of drainage and so on that we've done with that, and you can just make out the CCTV camera over there. So I'm just going to walk over now to our other area in the park, and I'll just try and walk around bit from here and try and avoid all the rain, sorry, the very waterlogged grass, and also try and protect the camera from the wind. So it's a real pain. So yeah, so we're just walking across now to the library garden, and this is the one garden that we can protect so we can have more ornate things. So this is generally the route you'd come in the summer, and the route here is a bit, want to do a bit of work on this to try and make it more inviting, so that would probably involve painting the railings here, and they'll just take you through now. Now normally these are open in the summer and you can walk straight through then into the park and go into the cafe. So I'll just open this up now. That's it. And so this is the garden. The artificial grass is holding up really well. A lot of leaves have come down, but we've roughly removed most of those. Now it's very windy again, so I'll just walk backwards. In that view there you can see the polytunnel, and there's the access to the cafe, and there's the library. And now here's Tony's Buddha, looking very good, very happy with itself. And in this section here, one of our projects we want to do, all being well, is to create a waterfall feature. Waterfall, bit of a pagoda Chinese oriental feel, and then a sort of big pond thing here, but raised so that no one falls in it, and then we can have some fish and so on. So it's a big space, not doing a lot, and we think it will give you lots of nice senses, you know, water movement and so on. So it'll be very calming. The wind chimes here, and looking very good they are. And then we'll walk over now to the polytunnel. And we only built this in March on my birthday, so yeah, I'm really pleased with this. Now you can also see we've got loads of plants all ready to go, and these plants are Rudbeckia here, and they were donated to us from the kind people at Stanley Park, and so we're going to get them in the spring. And we've got Susan's herb garden, a number of roses here, all ready to go in, and yeah, we're really pleased with actually what we've got ready to go plant wise for the new year in 2020. And there's some signs of our funders. So this is the polytunnel, and I'll just open this up, and this is our engine room really for the park. That's the waterfall feature there that we've got, and we'll be using that in the for the water feature we're going to build. And then you cross here, we've got loads of all the kit that we use, got our wishing well, some of the plants that we've been growing and ready to plant, some of the plants that we've grown from seed already, and they're doing quite well. These are more perennial geraniums here, 2 monkey puzzle trees, cactus and other rockery type plants, the white plants where we've got holly coming, more white plants because we want to create a white border around the edging, more dianthus, and then over here are all the seeds. So in January and February we're going to plant most of these up and put them into the main garden, and the shelving we've made ourselves with pallets. And then you look across here and you've got all the pots and all the things that you need really, you know, your water tubs and various things. So yeah, it's a real engine room for this, and we'll be able to grow so much this year, so very excited about it. And obviously our gloves and even more pots down there. So yeah, it's a fantastic asset for us, and it's holding really well. It actually feels quite warm in here, so it's doing its job. And so yeah, so I'll just shut this now, and that concludes the tour of where we are so far with East Pines Park and what we've got lined up and so on for next year. We're going to have a very busy year, but a very exciting year, and I think we're going to really take it to another level. So yeah, I'm very pleased, and I think it'll be a bit special, Dad, by the time we're finished, and Mum. So and all the other viewers out there. So I will let you go and wish everyone a very Merry Christmas from East Pines Park.